Welcome to Freej Part 2 and the online course for the entrepreneurial mindset. So as Freej was looking for various ways how to do marketing research, the question which came to his mind is how to get those questions answered. What shall you do to answer those questions? So I hope you had got an opportunity to reflect. So the first question which comes into his mind is to go for the easiest thing. The easiest thing is to find some people who are in this area and go and ask them, get an appointment, talk to them, and this is called in-depth interview. So how to do it? Find the relevant people from your network, from the network of networks, write an email, call them, get an appointment, and introduce yourself and ask those questions. And then if you are able to connect with more people, you can invite some students, some family members, some women, some people from your family, and pitch your idea, show the cartoons, and ask something about them. The third thing can be an experiment. Do a small show in a school, in a college, in a theater, and tell them this is what it is. A small experiment can lead to some information. And the fourth area is to conduct a survey, quantitative information. To make a questionnaire, and how to make that questionnaire, go to the literature, go to developed questionnaires in that area, get it downloaded, and most of the time it's difficult to do that, so people hire consultants and they get those questionnaires designed, and online survey or physical survey is done, and then based on that you process that data and you find the demographics, the age, the income, location, previous education, inclinations, and then you can add psychographics as well. So this data is needed. But this type of data, it takes a lot of money. So the first part, in-depth interviews, can be done in a parsimonious way for your personal network. Focus groups can be done. Experiments can be done. But surveys are, you really need to be creative. So what shall an entrepreneur do? A typical survey in Europe, if I remember many years ago, it charges like €10 or $10 per question. If you hire a consultant for 100, you want a sample of 100 people, they will charge you like $1,000. So for an entrepreneur, it will be a big amount. So what shall they do? So this is the question. So in this case, Harib somehow through his network was able to approach a university, a professor of marketing maybe, and through him he was able to discuss his challenge, and the professor maybe thought that let's make it an assignment for students. So some students volunteered for that assignment, and they made a questionnaire, and they spread out, and they approached 9 universities, and they were able to get 6,000 respondents. What was their incentive? They were learning something new. They were maybe offered a cup of tea or a lunch in a restaurant somewhere, and they were able to come up with this data. They got it analyzed, and based on that analysis in 2003, he found the viewing habits. How do people, what are the viewing habits of people? And he came to know that young people are watching 10 hours, and South Park is the most rated program for women, and Japanese manga animation for guys is really popular. And as he goes into detail, he finds out that the females are more into viewership, 18 to 35. They're inclined towards merchandising. If they view something, if they like the picture, they have the tendency to buy a product based on those pictures. The under 18 are a good viewership number, but their tendency to purchase something is low because they don't have a low disposable income. And the findings told him that female are more into TV viewership, women are easily converted into purchasers, difficult to attract male. The under 18 sector of kids and young people is the secondary audience. And during that discussion, the in-depth interviews, he came to know that he need to have something to show. He need a minimum viable product, MVP, minimum viable product, a demo, something which can be shown, where people can readily relate to. So based on that, he started of thinking a 3-minute demo, and when he looked into detail, that required a lot of money, thousands of dollars for a minute. So where to get that money? So he tried to find out some investors, but you see, no response. Got his personal funds and family engaged, and there were lack of finances for this venture, and he was able to make a 3-minute demo. And people liked it. He went to some investors, but once again, the investors were not interested in pitching, in funding that idea. Why? Because these investors, they move in locksteps. The investors have an herd mentality. They invest in those areas which give a solid return. So in those days, Dubai was famous for its return in real estate, in construction. And why would somebody go in and invest in an uncertain idea? So uh, things didn't work as he expected, and he was asked that you should go for a 10 minutes or 12 minutes pilot test. So once again, he was looking for some money, more money was needed. He has saved some money, got it from his mom and dad, and he came up with the pilot test. That was a bit bigger than the demo. He took that, it was a great achievement, something tangible, and he was looking for uh, hoping some investors to come in. But once again, he found out that people are only investing in those areas which they are certain to get returns. So it's about, you see, 1998 is around 6 years or 7 years. He has been working additionally in his spare time, day in and day out. His passion is coming out, and he is able to do some interesting things, but he couldn't get the tangible result. But then something interesting happened. The lemonade principle. Sheikh Mohammed, who had built an establishment for young business leaders, were used to promote young people, to promote entrepreneurship, and he got noticed by them. He made a sales pitch and presentation, and he got noticed, and he was funded like $820,000 3-year loan. Now he could free his time from the media job, and he could spare and focus his time fully on this project. And as the news spread, uh, and you see, one success brings many successes, he was approached by the telephone operator of Dubai, Do. Hey, your cartoons are good. Can we use these for our ads and advertisements? If you sign an agreement for preferential rights, we are ready to pay you. And he got $325,000. And it was a snowball effect. His own Dubai Media City came up and said that we want to have an official association with you. So you see, the credibility is enhancing day by day. A small success leads to a bigger success. And serendipity and luck, one never knows when it comes. But it comes with hard work. And here, 2003, by that time, he has 3 partners. Do as a financer. Pilot was, you see, funded from personal and family loans. He had done marketing research. By 2005, he had transformed that into formal company. He needed managers, and he got those who are to manage contract employees. Do agreed to cover the development cost, and he came with a company called Lamtara Pictures. This is an Arabic word in Quran, have you seen? And by the next 2 years, he was able to uh, generate a video, and the video went viral. The first season became successful, the second became successful, and he got 500 employees on a project basis. And he had various videos which went through and went to CNN Arabia, and Lamtara and Freej website was established. And you see, he was spending his time in Dubai and in Bombay. So here he was doing the voiceovers, the head office, and most of the people were employed in Mumbai, and here he was having the software engineers, designers, and you see graphic people, and these people were working there. So the cost came down. So he was traveling frequently before these destinations, and he was parsimonious and getting those things done. And Solamthara Pictures is engaged in three things: production, distribution, and the third area which he had identified years ago in his research, that merchandising, that women are interested in purchasing something out of those icons and those cartoons, and that led to interesting things. He was able to make these cartoons, stickers, laptop covers, shampoos, and these are those for mothers which became the icons of. And you see, these cartoons became popular. They went to CNN Arabia, and they went to other destinations, and he discovered that this market is not only in Dubai, it's in Saudi Arabia, it's in Arabic speaking countries in Africa, Libya, Iraq, in North Africa, and its market is also in European countries with a lot of Arab people, in France, in Germany, in North America, in Canada. So these things kept on discovering as he moved on, and you see, he became an icon and a popular person, and his cartoons were used by Fly Dubai for their for safety instructions. And you see, it's very interesting cartoons were developed, and this is the image of the village where these women and the families live. So these cartoons became a source of learning, not only for kids, young people, but even old men and women. So it became so popular that it went through all ages. And so this picture is telling that is this man Dubai's answer to Pixar. And yes, it seems yes, because at this point of time he got a telephone call from, like you see in the previous cases, we saw in the ICE hotel case that Mr. Niels got a telephone call from Richard Branson, and this time Harib gets a telephone call from the chairman of a big group, Tatweer, that, hey gentlemen, I would like to meet you and talk to you. Why don't we go for a theme park on the pattern of Disneyland? So you see, and he said, I will be offering I will be doing the investment and using your cartoons as a theme to promote Arab culture and do something interesting. So this story ends, and this gentleman who was initially a dropout from an engineering school and then moved into a design and an art school and found his passion and love, and that passion and love led to freelancing, and out of that disappointment, a job, and out of that job, a pat on the back and small experiments made him a hero in the Arab speaking you see media industry. So let's go. It's very interesting lessons. We'll be reflecting